It is match day, and before we get into the nitty-gritty about what could, should, and possibly won't happen today, I want to offer up not a little bit of positivity, but maybe just a little bit of hope. Because I'm very aware, I did a video yesterday, and if you've not watched it, it was a 16-minute video. I'm not going to go back over it now. But I certainly voiced my concerns with the recruitment strategy for the summer, and particularly the inexperience of Graham Potter and Carl McCauley. And what I would just add to that, if you did watch yesterday's video, is my concerns would very, very quickly wash away if we made a couple of early signings or we made a couple of signings. I think then I would just feel a lot more at ease about it. It would give me confidence to think, oh, that's okay. Look, they've already proven that they can get a couple of deals over the line. And I think I'd just chill out a bit. I think I'd just relax a little bit on it. I think until they have, I'm going to be concerned. Because if they get a couple done early, I think, well, actually, maybe they can bring the 10 or so players it's going to need. So it's that little bit of encouragement, isn't it? In many respects, it sort of mirrors the encouragement we need, I think, from the team as well. Which is, if I can just see a little bit from Potter and his style of play this season, it will give me more confidence for next season. And I think I just think it's normal. So I think I'm just looking for a little bit of encouragement just to alleviate some of my worries. But worries persist. There's no doubt about that. And today's a really big game. For no reason of league position, really, or points. Yes, I guess we can climb the league. But realistically, it's a big game for Potter sending his message in, not just to us as fans, but also to his team and any potential signings. And now would be a really good time to flick that switch or crank up that dial and just get the team playing more on the front foot. I listened to every word he said in his press conference, and I totally understand about him wanting to fix the defence. And there are absolutely really good reasons to do that. But as I offered up early in the week, I think there's really good reasons to get on the front foot as well, and none more so than the players that you think you're going to want and you want to try and recruit. There go. It's no good playing crap and saying the words, we're gonna do well next season, which is why in both things, both in the transfers and in terms of the game, I think we need to see it a little bit more. Brighton are beatable today. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I really don't. I always like to see managers react when they're stung. Some of them don't. Some of them don't at all. Some of them don't react. I think sometimes it's easy to watch these things play out and you sometimes judge what's going to happen as you might deal with it yourself. I remember watching Gareth Southgate getting stung for his tactics and his inability to make substitutions at the right time. And there was quite a lot there. And I thought, particularly at the time when it was quite clear he was going to lose his job. And I thought, well, if he's not going to change now, he's probably not going to change at all. But I think if I was in his position, I would have been stung, and I would have gone out of my way to prove everybody wrong. But not everybody does that, and that's fine. I think sometimes if you're stuck in your so wedded to your methods, and you are so convinced of your own, maybe your tactics or your own ability, that maybe external forces are probably not going to deviate you from doing what you want to do. Maybe, and I think that possibly is a very good quality, by the way. But I think there's probably a fine line, isn't there, between I guess confidence and sort of stubbornness that stops you sort of tweaking something that needs to be changed. I do think this is winnable, and I do think that. I think Potter definitely was stung by some of the criticism. I thought he took it quite well in his press conference, but some of the criticism of him and his team. I mean, he says he understands. He said he understands how the fans feel. And yeah, I'm not sure how much of that is true. I guess he can comprehend it. I guess he can empathise. But I think it's a very different thing explaining being a West Ham fan to someone than actually being a West Ham fan and sort of, going through everything that we've gone through over the years, and that, loads and loads of lows, and we've certainly had a really good high in recent years. And I guess sort of 3 years in Europe was definitely a high point, wasn't it? There's a lot of talk from Potter about a repair job that needed to be done, and I didn't mind that at all. I do think there is a repair job, and I like the way he appraised it over 18 months. But I really do feel he needs to get something today, and I want him to. I'm getting sick of talking about negative crap all the time, which is why at the start of this video I tried to offer up something positive. And I don't want to sit here and say stuff that I don't believe. But now I do believe. I do believe that if we get a couple of early transfers over the line, then my outlook will definitely become more positive. So yesterday we got linked with Yuri Alberto. I think that's his name, Corinthian striker. I'm not looking too much into it because I couldn't tell you too much about him. We were linked to him before, and there is every possibility that it's just an old story rehashed, right? Because this happens quite a lot, doesn't it? If not, we'll take a closer look. We'll go and look at him on Patreon. We'll go on Y-Scout, and we'll take a closer look at everything that he's about. But irrespective of who it is, if I found out now that West Ham have got an agreement, and it was official, we got an agreement, start of the summer for pre-season, this striker has come over from Brazil. I don't know whether he's good, bad, or indifferent. In fact, I think he was the top goal scorer in Brazil last season. So you've got to think he's okay. But you would still think, okay, the club are on the front foot, the club are being active, and that would be good. That would be a good sign. So I am trying to look for positives because it's just really negative at the moment. And it's not that there's not a lot to get excited about, the truth be known. But I don't think Potter can go the rest of the season without getting a win. I remember speaking to Gio on one of the videos. Maybe it was either the build-up, it was either the preview, or it was one of our Patreon videos. Links in the description below, by the way. We've got a 7-day free trial with Patreon. Links in the description below. But if you'd really like to help out, and really like to help out Hammers Chat, then you can basically join for as little as £3.60 a month. Loads of additional content, prizes, loads and loads of stuff. And basically, helps us keep going, basically. There you go. That's it. If nothing else, even if you don't want the extra content, but you just like this sort of stuff, go and sign up, and you'll be helping us out massively. Patreon.com/HammersChat. You can just put Hammerschat Patreon into Google and you find it. Anyway, it was during one of those videos where I thought that it was Brighton and Ipswich were possibly our only 2 winnable games left this season. Gio made a really good point. He said, well, actually, I think Man United and Tottenham are in that as well. And he went on to explain that, they're involved in European campaigns, and they're in a similar situation to us, whereby they can't go anywhere in the league, really. But unlike us, if they win their respective tournaments in Europe, then they're actually in European competition next season. So he made a good case that both those teams might take their eye off the ball. Maybe they will. If they do, then perhaps those are winnable games. In which case, that gives us 4 winnable games. And he made a good case. Whether that is an opportunity. Whether we'll grasp it, whether we'll go for it, is another matter. I guess the easy one to look at this game is a draw. I guess that will suit. That will suit Potter. A draw would be enough on this one, particularly bearing in mind it's his former club. But it just goes to show how poor it's been at West Ham, really, when that was the narrative, particularly listening to the press conference, was how West Ham are struggling, rather than the natural line of questioning, which the first question, probably should have been, so Graham, back to your former club. It wasn't. It was about the struggles. It was about Niclas Füllkrug. It was about all of that stuff. And it goes to show you he's under a certain level of scrutiny. And I said this a couple of months ago. I do wonder where if West Ham are bigger than he thought we were. And as I mentioned at the time, we've interviewed loads of people, funny enough, over on Patreon, and be it Dean Ashton or former coaches or anyone else, former players, and they all say we didn't realise West Ham were as big as they were until we joined. Because then I said, then you find out there's West Ham fans everywhere in the world, be in Timbuktu and so on, come up and say, come on, you Irons. And it's It certainly is the case. So I do wonder if Potter has rocked up, and particularly in terms of the media scrutiny, just everything, not just mainstream media. They've been running features on him. Sky Sport's been running features on him. Talk Sport have been having features on him, and how he's struggling. There's obviously loads. We're one of them. Part of the problem, you might even see it that way. You know, we're one of many social media accounts, Hammers Chat, and there's a lot. There's a lot of scrutiny on him. I do wonder if he's found himself in a situation where he's thinking, oh, you know, this is a lot bigger than I thought. And as I said, I think he probably knew going to Chelsea there was going to be eyes on him at Chelsea. I wonder if he thought, well, maybe it'll be somewhere in between Brighton and Chelsea. But there's a lot of attention on West Ham. I'd love us to play on the front foot today. We're going to find out how he's sorted out these issues. There's any number of things. Maybe, and when I say the issues that were highlighted by Niclas Füllkrug, basically saying that the players aren't pulling their weight or they're not following instructions. We'll find out what Fullkrug's role in all this is. I think we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out who those players are. We'll be interested to see how they respond. Do they lack motivation, or do they want to go and prove him wrong? The individual players will know who he was referring to. As I mentioned, you look in that game, Lucas Paqueta was all over. He was trying to, some of the pass, he was playing outside of the foot and all the rest of it, and he was really trying to make West Ham tick in that game. Lucas Paqueta will be listening to Fullkrug's comments and thinking, well, it's not me. It doesn't mean me. We'll find out what impact that's had, if any, on the team, either positive or negative. And we will find out how much Potter agrees with it. If it's true, and by the way, it was quite evident for all to see that what happened against Southampton was rubbish, right? But if it's true, and when I say if it's true, that actually Potter gave the instructions for the team to get forward, but the team stayed back anyway, right? If that is true, then you would expect Potter to punish the players. So you would expect there to be 4 or 5 changes. It'd be you, and you. You didn't do what I said. You're out. You lot, you're in. You're going to take their places. That would be my natural take on it anyway. There is a confusing factor, and I've mentioned it twice before. I mentioned it again just in case. Even though Potter was spotted on the touchline going, get forward, get up there, all of you lot, go on, forward. He still said to Niclas Füllkrug, right, you can come off and I'm going to put Thomas Souček on into midfield. So he took a striker off and put on a midfielder. He still took off, I've got this right, James Ward-Prowse, who's a midfielder. It doesn't matter whether you think these people are good, bad or indifferent. He still took off James Ward-Prowse and he still put on a defender. So basically, I'll take a forward and substitute in with a midfielder. And now I'll take a midfielder and substitute in with a central defender. Progressively, it's getting more and more defensive. And then at the end, he took off our top goal scorer and the only person that scored a goal in a game, in Jared Bowen. So he might have been saying, go on, get up there, get up the pitch. But his substitution said, whoa, come on, get back. So I do think there's some mitigation there for the players for being confused. And I do wonder if that is going to manifest itself in Potter maybe not making the brutal changes he probably should be making if what Niclas Füllkrug said is true and people were down in tools. He didn't quite say that, but he implied it, didn't he? Let's be fair. He implied it. There's a lot to sort out for Potter. There's a lot to sort out. That's why when I said yesterday, he's got enough on his plate coaching the team. Don't be getting involved in transfers as well. Somebody else should be doing that. Should be phoning players. You've got enough. There's a mutiny. There's a mini mutiny going on at West Ham at the moment. We've got the thing that we already discussed with Edson Alvarez going on. A team that's not performing well. A team that can't score goals. Getting outplayed by teams we shouldn't get outplayed by. He's got a lot to sort out. And I think tomorrow is going to be important because I think for him to get towards the end of the season, it's going to be really, really difficult for him. He's going to need some wins. He needs a couple of wins. Because what you can't do is you can't get to the end of the season. Even if he just won one more game, that's not going to be enough. Because that would be like 4 wins in sort of 19, 20 games. There's no way you can look at that and see that as positive. You know, he needs a few more wins, basically. If he could get 2 more wins, then he'd be certainly have done better in the last few games than he has done so far. But I think he needs it. He needs it for everyone. Needs it for the team. Needs it for future signings. Needs it for himself. And I think he needs it for himself to make himself a little bit believable. Also, anything he does this season buys him time next season. If he does crap for the remainder of the season and he loses the first 3 games of next season, he's immediately under pressure. If he gets us playing on the front foot now, he can get 3 more wins this season, and we end up finishing, I don't know, 15th. Something like that, 14th, 15th. If we were able to do that and he loses the first couple of games next season, we'll say, well, that's okay because we've seen what's about to come. That's fine. So it's that thing again. Like I said at the start of the video, it's that promise. Give us a little bit of promise. Give us something to hang on to, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll see you an hour and 5 minutes before kickoff with the teams. Myself and Gio are reacting to that over on the main channel. Enjoy what's left of your morning, and we'll catch up with you, well, I guess at 1:55.